Well, a very, very happy Friday morning, everyone, and welcome to the John Kentera Show on YouTube, Facebook, and on X. Hope everyone's had a great week, and man, I'm bracing for a big weekend. Padres back home to take on Tampa Bay. I've got a very, very busy weekend. Tonight, I'm going to head out and watch a little college baseball. UC Santa Barbara coming down to take on Coach Newman's UC San Diego Tritons. That ought to be a great three-game series. Both teams vying for the Big West tournament. You have to finish in the top five, and both teams right now in the top five. Granted, the Tritons are kind of hanging on right now. They need to really probably get 2 out of 3 this weekend against Santa Barbara, but some good college baseball. I got the Strike Force on Sunday night up at Front Wave Arena at 6:05. The Tucson Sugar Skulls coming in, and tomorrow on Saturday, I've got a big day at the local softball field up on Lake Drive. My granddaughter's pitching tomorrow morning at 9:30, and they got closing ceremonies and in and around all that. I'll be focusing in a lot on Padre baseball. A disappointing road trip for the boys, but we'll talk about it. Padres did make an official roster move this morning. It was kind of leaked out last night, but we're going to get to that and why did they make that roster move. But as always, want to remind you, if you're tuning in maybe for the very, very first time to our podcast, we do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. And we have no set time on how long we go. Some days we go 45 minutes. Sometimes we go an hour. Really, I kind of leave it up to you fans out there as you continue to pepper me with questions and send questions in on the coach's mailbag. We're going to be here. We're going to try to answer everything for you. But if you're tuning in maybe for the first time or you have tuned in before and haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Really trying to build this up. I'm not sure what we're trying to build it to, but I know this. I'm trying to build it with a lot of San Diego and Southern California sports fans. And we do have fans that have relocated out of San Diego, out of Southern California, all over the country. And the word is starting to spread about our podcast. And I want to thank everyone for the kind words. We try to get you the best information possible. And of course, this time of year, we really focus in on our Major League Baseball team, the San Diego Padres. From time to time, we'll talk about the Angels. And of course, we're going to have to talk about the Dodgers because they're the arch villain of the San Diego Padres. And Dodgers having their problems right now. And we're going to talk a little bit about their weekend. They got a very interesting weekend. They got a very interesting game tonight against the Pittsburgh Pirates. But we'll get into that a little bit later on. But again, please subscribe. Again, we're on 3 platforms: YouTube, Facebook, and X. You can follow me on Facebook at John Kentera. You can follow me on X at Coach Kentera 44. Okay, well, let's take a look at Wednesday's game. We were on Wednesday, and shortly after we were on, the ball game got underway. And to me, and I want your opinion on this, and I know a lot of you are probably working. The Padres looked tired. They looked like they wanted to get home. It was a 6-game road trip. It was the final game, a day game after a night game. And they just didn't perform very well. Reese Olson, the right-hander for Detroit, went out there and threw a hell of a ball game. There's no doubt about it. He allowed only 2 hits, both of them to Jose Iglesias. He went 7 1/3, a walk, 7 strikeouts, and just did the job. And the Padres, they didn't have a lot of good quality at bats in that game either. So that's a little disappointing to me. That was a big game for me. I mean, if you could have come back 3-3, I'd taken that, and that would have even their road record at 6-6 are now 5-7. They've got to play better on the road. They've got to hit with runners in scoring position better. They were only 2 of 16 on the road on the series against Detroit. 2 of 16. That's not going to win many ball games. And I realize, and I don't really want excuses from the Padre Ball Club, and the Padre Ball Club not really giving excuses, but I think a lot of the fans are and members of the media are. Hey, you know what? If you want to win a championship or you want to win a division title, you got to perform, and you got to have guys that can get the job done. Some guys are getting the job done. Fernando's getting the job done. People are pointing the finger at Manny Machado. Manny Machado's swinging the bat pretty well with runners in scoring position. Right now, he's 8 for 20. Hitting 400 with runners in scoring position this year. But Bogarts doesn't have a home run. You've got guys coming up from the minor leagues that are getting a great opportunity. They got to produce. Jose Iglesias sitting in for Jake Cronenworth's doing a hell of a job. Hitting 298 right now. What more do you want out of the guy? Guy's been around forever. coming off a great season a year ago with the New York Mets. Came in, backup guy, playing a little third, playing a little second. May see him a little bit at shortstop occasionally. He's doing a great job. Gavin Sheets has done a good job. I had a rough day the other day. I mean, 0 for 3 and 2 punch-outs. And he's not a great defensive first baseman, but he wasn't signed by the Padres to play first base. Play a little outfield, DH, but because of the injury to Arise, he's having to play first base. And hopefully, just hopefully, and we're going to get more of an update today. Everybody's wanting to know about Arise and Cronenworth and Merrill and Lockridge, Yu Darvish. Everybody wants to know about all these guys. Well, we're going to find out in the pregame today from Mike Schilt. Mike Schilt's going to have to give us an update on Jackson Merrill, Lockridge, Arise, and Darvish. Now, Darvish threw 2 bullpens on the road trip. And he's not close to going out on a rehab assignment yet. He's going to throw another bullpen, probably throw batting practice, maybe a simulated game, and then he'll go out. He's going to have to go out and throw a little bit down in the minor leagues to build up. But I don't know if Merrill's close. I really have no idea. I mean, we thought he might be coming off the IL originally for the first game in Houston. That didn't happen. He didn't even travel. Neither did Lockridge. They didn't even travel. And you got Jason Hayward down with inflammation in a knee. So you've had to go down to the minor leagues. Oscar Gonzalez has been okay, not a great defender, but he's run into a couple and driven in some runs and swung the bat halfway decent. Didn't have a great day the other day, 0 for 2. He did have a walk. He's hitting 286. What more do you want out of Oscar Gonzalez? Terso Ornelas, still looking for a hit. He's 0 for 6, got an RBI. Connor Joe, 0 for 9, 6 strikeouts. Got to be much more aggressive at the plate. That's what I see now. You've got guys that can do the job, but they've got to do the job. And I'd like to see Bogarts, who I'm a big fan of, he got to start driving the ball a little bit. I mean, his average isn't anything to write home about. He's hitting 259. He went 0 for 4 the other day, or 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts in that game against Detroit in the rubber game. So the boys have got to get back on track. They're 5-7 on the road, and they're 12-1 at Petco Park. And they got a team coming in tonight that won a 10-inning extra inning game last night over in Arizona. And don't discount the Tampa Bay Rays. I know their record is not great. They come in at a 14-11 mark. They're in 4th place right now in the American League East, but they've got a lot of pride. They play good, sound, fundamental baseball. And if they get any kind of pitch, they'll battle you. Padres should get 2 out of 3. But it's a different animal. American League teams are a little bit different than National League teams, the way they're constructed, and we'll see how it goes. But Wednesday was disappointing. They looked tired. Looked like they wanted to get on the plane and get home. They got an off day yesterday. They'll have another off day on Monday before the Giants come in. And man, the Giants are playing great baseball. They're playing great baseball. They won a series against Milwaukee, and they had a couple of come from behind victories. Yesterday they were down 5-2, and they came back and won the ball game. That Giant team, I'm going to tell you right now, is a lot better than I anticipated them being. I think they're going to be in it for the long haul. I really do. I mean, this National League West is flat out crazy right now. Flat out crazy. So disappointing outing on Wednesday. I mean, Kyle Hart, and we're going to talk more about him in a minute. He went 4 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 6 strikeouts, gave up 2 home runs. Record now 2-2 with a 6 ERA. Alec Jacob came in the other day. He done a good job. A 1 2/3 innings, couple of punch outs. Morihone had a rough outing. 1 inning, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. And Yuki Matsui, the game was already pretty much decided. He came in, pitched the 8th inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 strikeouts. Gave up a 2-run homer in the ball game. So at the end of the day, not a great road trip. Not a great road trip. There were some winnable games they left on the table. So 2-4 on the road trip. Okay, well, let's get to Kyle Hart. Now, this started to come down last night. And I'm going to tell you, I think there's 2 things going on here. Number one, Kyle Hart, we're seeing 2 different pitchers. He's got 2 different personalities. When he's pitching in Petco Park, he's one of the best pitchers in the National League. When he's pitching on the road, he's one of the worst pitchers in all of baseball. And the Padres have these off days. So they want to keep him kind of working towards some things. And I'm sure he's being sent down to El Paso today. And when his slot comes up, they've probably given him and the pitching coach down in El Paso specific instructions what they want him to work on while he's down there. I don't expect him to be down there too long. I think they just want to kind of keep him on a regular throwing schedule with got some off days. And so he's going down. They're going to bring up right-hander Ryan Bergert. He's 25 years of age, 6'1", 210. His numbers are dreadful. And again, when you bring a guy up from El Paso, the Pacific Coast League, a lot of high altitude ballparks, you got to wait and see what the guy does in the big leagues. But his numbers this year have been not very good. Okay, he got a good arm, not a guy throwing 100 miles an hour. He works 93, 95. Still a hard thrower. Got to hit his spots, but these numbers are awful. 5 games, 22 and 2/3 innings. He's given up 29 hits and he's walked 10. Okay, he's got a whip of 1.721. That's over a runner and a half per game. That's not good. 5.16 ERA in 22 and 2/3 innings. He's given up 5 home runs. Now, unless you watched the games and saw the home run, they could be wind blown or, you're at the altitude, the ball just carries. But he's going to get an opportunity to come up, help the bullpen out a little bit. Now, we're going to get to Kyle Hart. And here's his numbers. I mentioned he's 2-2 in 5 starts with a 6 ERA overall. 2 home starts. Now, follow me here. These are unbelievable. I've never seen splits like this in my life, ever. 2 home starts. He's 2-0 with a 1.64 ERA. 11 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. He's given up 2 homers, a walk, and 8 strikeouts. 3 road starts. He's 0-2 with a 10.80 ERA, 10 innings, 17 hits, 12 earned runs, 4 homers, 5 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Those numbers are just amazing. Now, I broke it down this way. How about against left-handed batters? Against right-handed batters. Okay, left-handed hitters right now are hitting 100 against Kyle Hart. 100. They're 2 for 20. They've got an on-base percentage of 100, a slugging percentage of 100, and an OPS of 200. This guy's been unbelievable against left-hand batters. But against right-hand batters, they're feasting. They're getting into a fight in their dugout trying to get to the bat rack to get to the on-deck circle to step in against Kyle Hart right-hand hitters. I mean, check these numbers out. So far this year, right-hand hitters are hitting 333 against Kyle Hart with a 386 on-base percentage, a 698 slug, and an OPS of over 1,000, 1,084. Are you kidding me? That's unbelievable. And then, you look at his road starts at Wrigley Field against the Cubbies, 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 5 earned runs, and 4 walks. And the Cubs right now, they're scoring runs in bushel baskets. I mean, they're unbelievable offensively. And the wind's been blowing out, and they've been some wild games there already. They got some guys off to a great start, namely Pete Pro Armstrong, the kid out of Harvard Westlake up there in Los Angeles. He's gone crazy in the last week and a half. Okay, his other 2 starts. At Houston, 5 innings, 10 hits, 5 earned runs, gave up 2 home runs. And at Detroit, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 homers, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. Okay, so he's going down. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I think this guy can help the ball club. I really do. He already has helped the ball club. But he's got to figure it out on the road. I don't know what the difference is. Is he not sleeping with his favorite pillow on the road? I mean, he might need to bring his favorite pillow on the road. I mean, I don't know what the deal is. Does he stay up late at night on the road because he misses his family? I don't know. But it's been beyond awful how bad he's pitched, and those numbers are just atrocious. And then at Petco Park, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. You tell me, what are you seeing in Kyle Hart? He got a good sweeper, got a good breaking ball. Not a guy that's going to overpower you, but he certainly can help this ball club, especially being the number 5 starter. I guess I was a little surprised last night. I was watching the NFL draft, and I really enjoyed it. And we're going to talk about the draft here before too long. But it started leaking out that Kyle Hart was being sent down, and I did some due diligence, and I knew the Padres weren't going to release anything until this morning. But I knew after I started digging around a little bit, I'm trying to watch the draft, and I'm having to dig around on Padres stuff, whether or not this guy's getting sent down. And there were some early reports that he was being sent down, but nothing official. So I had to get on the phone and make a phone call. Got the word they're going to announce it tomorrow morning, which they did. And so there you go. Kyle Hart going to AAA El Paso. Right-hander Ryan Bergert getting called up. And when he pitches in his first game, it'll be his major league debut. We wish him the very, very best. So there you have it on Kyle Hart. Okay, I'm going to give you the matchups for this weekend. Tonight, 6:40, Petco Park. Tampa Bay going with right-hander Sean Boz, I think they say it. 2-0 with a 3.22. Right-hander Michael King, 3-0 and a 2.57. I would think the Padres have a little bit of an advantage here, but Boz is not a bad pitcher. And again, Tampa Bay coming in. I think I said they were 14-11. They're 11-14. I don't really follow Tampa Bay all that well. Padres 17-8. King coming off a good start, not overpowering, but a good start. 5 2/3, 4 hits and 2 earned runs and a couple of walks and 7 strikeouts in his outing down in Houston. Saturday, 5:40. Former Dodger right-hander Ryan Pepio, 1-3 and a 4.82 going for the Rays. Padres going with right-hander Dylan Cease, 1-1 in a 6.04 ERA. Now, Cease coming off a pretty good start for the most part. I saw some improvement out of Dylan. 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 6 strikeouts. To me, it seems like he's getting a little bit closer to being the Dylan Cease that we want him to be. But again, with him, and I said this at the end of last year when we were doing the podcast, he's one of these pitchers that there's not a lot of gray area. He's either really, really good and overpowering and really dominant, or he struggles, he gets frustrated, tries to throw harder, his command goes away, and his fastball straightens out. And he'll start falling in love and overthrow his slider. So hopefully he can get into a good groove. Padres really need to have a good series against Tampa Bay. And they get an off day on Monday. So the bullpen with an off day yesterday, an off day on Monday, there's no reason, man. You don't have to go deep with starter. Work that bullpen. You got 3 games. You got to get at least 2 out of 3 from Tampa, if not all 3. And then you get an off day, and then you go against the Giants. Giants are doing a lot of good things, man. They're really playing good baseball, and we'll talk more about them on Monday. We'll give you a little scouting report on the Giants on Monday, and then the final game on Sunday afternoon at 1:10. Tampa Bay going to go with right-hander Zach Littell, looking for his first win of the year. How about these numbers? 0-5 and a 5.28. Wow. Yeah, it's tough going to the mound with an 0-5 record. Padres going to go with right-hander Randy Vasquez, 1-1 and a 3.97, coming off a not so good start last time out. Just a couple of notes on the injured guys. Luis Arraez, 7-day concussion protocol. He would be eligible to come back on Tuesday night, and I hope he's okay. They need to get him desperately back in this lineup. They really do. Cronenworth, right non-displaced rib fracture. It's going to be a few weeks. I don't think he's going to come back on this homestand. He may not come back on the road trip. It may be the next homestand. Well, we're going to get more information. He was on the road trip. He was doing some light baseball activity, but nothing real strenuous. And then we got the hamstring brothers, Jackson Merrill and Brandon Lockridge. We're going to get an update on those two. We're going to get an update today on Jason Hayward and the inflammation in his knee. We'll get an update on Yu Darvish. And so there you have it. That's kind of the injury update. We'll know a lot more when Mike Schultz meets with the media later today. Okay, let's get to our standings. Then we're going to get to Coach's Mailbag and all the questions you folks are posing out there. And again, thanks so much for tuning in. Padres right now 17-8. Again, 2-4 road trip, 12-1 at home, 5-7 on the road. Right now they have a half game lead over San Francisco. San Francisco 17-9. They're 7-3 at home, 10-6 on the road. Just that half game back of the Padres. The Dodgers at 16-9 in third place. I think I'm going to take a picture of that. They're in third place right now. Can you imagine all the bitching, moaning, and complaining with the Dodger fans right now over a 16-9 start, which is actually a good start, but you got 2 teams in front of you. Dodgers aren't used to that. They haven't seen that other than the Giants winning the division a few years ago when they won 107. Dodgers have been on top of the division for, it seems like, ever. Dodgers, though, 10-2 at home, playing great as usual at Dodger Stadium, only 6-7 on the road. One game back of the Padres. Arizona, they let one slip away last night. They couldn't hold it in the ninth, ended up getting beaten 10 by Tampa Bay. They're 14-11, 3 games back. They're 7-5 on the road. And Colorado, 4-20, 12.5 games back. They've lost 9 of their last 10. Oh my God, that's brutal. Okay, now this weekend, we got the Padres with 3 against Tampa Bay. San Francisco going to host Texas for 3. Bruce Bochy let one get away last night. They got beat in the bottom of the ninth, couldn't hold a 1-run lead. And congratulations to Eastlake right-hander Grant Holman. Got called up earlier in the week, pitched 2 shutout innings last night, and garnered the victory. And Grant Holman, a good guy, family, mom and dad, great people. So congratulations to Grant Holman on that big win last night. And he retired him 6 up, 6 down last night. Did a heck of a job. A kid that had an unbelievable career at Eastlake High School. So San Francisco hosting Bruce Bochy and the Texas Rangers. LA entertaining Pittsburgh. And Arizona's got a 3-game series against the team that's starting to play pretty well, the Atlanta Braves. But think about this tonight. A couple of key matchups in the division with good pitchers going against them. Paul Skeens, who's off to a 2-2 start and 2.87 for Pittsburgh, going against Yoshinobu Yamamoto of the Dodgers, 3-1 in a minuscule 0.93 ERA. What a matchup there. That's the best matchup in baseball today. And then tonight in the desert, you got Chris Sale, who's struggling right now. He's going against right-hander Zach Gallen. So Atlanta, they're playing better. Chris Sale's not had a good start, but he's going against Zach Gallen tonight. So a couple of outstanding matchups with a couple of NL West teams involved. So there you have that. And we're going to get, in a few minutes, we're going to get to the NFL draft. But right now, I want to get to your questions. Coach's Mailbag, any questions that we've taken off from a prior show. We always like to go back and look at some of those. And for you folks out there that are watching, type in your questions and we'll be more than happy to answer them. And then we're going to get to the NFL draft a little bit. Okay, let's get those things rolling. Michael, the problem is to get Manny Machado to start doing the heavy lifting and pull his weight. Having these injuries are mounting because Merrill is doing double duty for Manny in the clutch. Well, you know what? The numbers aren't saying that, Michael. I mentioned Manny 8 for 20 right now with runners in scoring position. And, I know what you're saying. It seems like there's been times when there's guys on and he hasn't come through, he's popped up or hit a weak ground ball or struck out. But you know what? Manny will get it going, and it'd be better to get it going sooner rather than later. He really needs to start, I do agree. He does need to take on a little more heavy lifting. He needs to start driving that ball. But again, you know what? I hate to say it, at the end of the year, if you look at the back of his baseball card, all those numbers are really pretty consistent. So I know he's, past 30, and you start looking at ball players a little bit differently. We got him under a long-term contract. He ended up with 29 bombs last year, over 100 RBIs. I don't know if he'll drive in over 100 this year, but I think he'll hit close to 30 home runs, somewhere in the neighborhood 25 to 30, I would think. But it would be nice with these other guys out right now if he could pick up the pace a little bit, but it just doesn't work that way in baseball. I'm sure he's trying. It's just not quite working that way. But thank you very much for the question. Kyle, with Hart struggling on the road especially, is there more pressure to make a trade for another arm soon? No, I don't think so, because you got Yu Darvish. And I don't know how much the Padres are banking on Yu Darvish, especially considering last year he had problems. And then, of course, he missed a lot of time last year due to the family situation. I think when he gets back, we're going to see where everything's at. You still got Stephen Kolek down there, who hadn't really pitched all that well. I got to look at his numbers. Last time I looked at his numbers about 5-6 days ago, he had a 7.11 ERA. He had one just miserable outing. And, of course, early in the year, that can really jack up your ERA. But I think he's an option at some point in time. But I think as you work towards the trade deadline, you're always looking to, add to your arsenal. Padres starters, they've been okay. They've been okay. I don't know. Maybe I expect too much. I expect more out of Dylan Cease. Michael King came into the year not pitching well, but he's really got on track. Randy Vasquez had a bad outing last time out, but he's pitched well. Pavetta's been off the chart. Pavetta's been by far their best pitcher. I mean, Michael King's numbers are outstanding, but Pavetta's been their best pitcher from start to where we're at right now. And Kyle Hart's been good at home. You just can't pitch him on the road. Next road trip, the Kyle Hart's on the big league team, you got to leave him at home. You got to let him pitch the last game of the series at Petco Park and let him just stay at Petco Park and go down a man on the road. Don't let him pitch on the road. But at some point in time, you're going to have to run him back out there on the road and see what he can do. The numbers are just amazing. Like I said, I've never seen splits of a pitcher, home and road, so different. I mean, at home, he's one of the best in baseball. On the road, he's one of the worst in baseball. Figure that out. Like I said, maybe he's not taking his favorite pillow on the road. Maybe he has insomnia, he has a hard time sleeping in hotels. I don't know. But something's not jiving there. I mean, every mound he pitches from is 60 feet 6 inches. The plate's 17 inches wide. No matter where you go, I don't know. All right, Coach, do you think Leo DeVries will be used in a trade this season? His performance, I'm sure, is intriguing to teams. Well, before he had that unbelievable game the other night, he was hitting 188. He went 5 for 5 with 2 homers and 8 RBIs. He's 18 years of age. I don't want to see him or Salas go anywhere. I'm hanging on to those guys. I mean, when you take a look at the Padres, somebody said this to me the other day. After I had the podcast, I was out and about, and somebody goes, "Hey, I listened to your podcast today, Coach. You were talking about Leo DeVries." And I go, "Yeah." They go, "Well, where's he going to play? We got Bogart signed for eternity." I go, "Well, you know what? Bogart's ain't playing shortstop forever. He's either moving to second or going to first. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be in a Padre uniform until the end of his career unless somebody's willing to take on that contract, and the Padres are willing to eat a lot of that money and trading him. But Leo DeVries, I'm not trading him. Padres don't have that many legitimate guys right now in the minor leagues. They really don't. I mean, they got some guys that, could develop, but you don't know. I mean, right now, Leo DeVries had a great night, but he got off to a slow start. He's in high A ball. He's the youngest guy in the Midwest League. Let's give him a chance to grow. Same thing with Salas. I would, like I've said, and I sound like a broken record on this, but I'd rather have seen Salas start with DeVries in high A ball. He hit 206 last year in A ball. Now he's in double A and pitching's better. And he's off to a slow start. But I got a lot of confidence in both of these guys. They're going to find their way and they're going to get to the big leagues. And I think both of them, especially Salas, even though his minor league numbers offensively are not good, I think he's going to be a good hitter. I really do. I like his swing. I like his approach. I think he's going to hit with some power. Right now, he's kind of a doubles guy, but the kid is 18 years old. He's going to turn 19 in June. Let's give this kid a chance to develop. Give both these guys a chance to develop. I want to see them play at the big league level in a Padres uniform. I don't want them playing for Cleveland or Tampa Bay or, whoever. Seattle. We make a lot of trades with Seattle, don't we? We haven't made a trade with Seattle in a while. Maybe AGL call up there to Jerry DePoe. Maybe we can trade somebody to Seattle and get somebody back. I'd like to get one of their pitchers, man. They got some pitching up there. I mean, they can't hit. That's not a good ballpark to hit in, though. But anyways, I'm not doing anything with DeVries other than let him grow, mature, and get to the big leagues in a Padres uniform, and the same with Ethan Salas. Thank you very much for that question. Always enjoy that. Okay, let's keep these questions coming, folks. Hoya, around 9 a.m., Preller said on radio that Merrill, Jake, and Lockridge are unlikely to return on this homestand. Bummer, a tad concerning, in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, Merrill, again, they're downplaying this hamstring. And I know that hamstrings can be very tedious. And if you come back too soon and you pop that hamstring, you're gone for 6 weeks. You may be gone for the year. So where the Padres are at right now, hey, I'm like a nurse. I'm gonna treat them with tender, loving care. but they made it sound like, they were going to be back maybe in time for that Houston series. But, Lockridge, right or left hamstring, Merrill, right hamstring, um, and Jake. I mean, Jake's got a fractured rib. So, whenever that heals, it heals. But with a muscle like a hamstring, you got to be really careful. Last thing you want to do is go out there and tear it, and then you have to have surgery. And you'll never, I don't care what anybody says, you never come back completely. You lose a little bit if you tear a hamstring. So I'm not surprised. I really didn't expect these guys to come back. And I think Merrill's more hurt than the Padres have let on, you want my honest opinion. Lockridge, I'm not so sure, but I think Merrill, I think he's a lot more banged up with that hamstring than they let on right from the get-go. That's my opinion. So yeah, they've got to weather the storm just like every other ball club in baseball, every other team in sports. I mean, that's what you got to deal with. Adversity. That's what it's all about. Okay, keep them coming. Joe with Manny, you get Gold Glove defense every day. A man who posts 25 to 30 bombs and a leader. Hell, look, don't worry. I'm not worried. And you know what's interesting? Manny Machado hadn't won a Gold Glove in many years. I think he's a Gold Glover. Made a throwing error the other day, but he's human. But he hadn't won a Gold Glove in the National League. He won a couple, I think. He won two, I think, with Baltimore, but he hadn't won one with the Padres. Even though I think he's probably been in line, they gave him to Nolan Arenado forever and a day. In the last couple of years, they've gone a different direction. Brian Hayes got it 2 years ago, and I think Ryan McMahon from Colorado got it last year, I think. But yeah, man, you haven't won a Gold Glove in the National League. He won a couple with the Orioles early in his career. But Manuel get his thing going, and man, hey, really, when this team is really playing well, and we talked a lot about Fernando, and right now he's got to be right up there, leading candidate for National League Most Valuable Player. But we haven't even played half the season. But really, if you look back, and a lot of it's been because Fernando's been out of the lineup for a variety of reasons. When the Padres are really playing great baseball is when Manny Machado is the leader of the pack offensively. And at some point in time, he will get hot. He'll get red hot, and he will carry this ball club. I'm not worried about him because on the back of his baseball card, it's very consistent. And I know as you get, deeper into your 30s and you have a bad month or a bad 6 weeks, everybody's so, oh man, he's starting to lose it. He's not losing it. I think he's in much better shape this year than he was a year ago. I really do. But Joe, thank you very much for the question. Okay, O2RR. After Merrill comes off IL, what do you think about Merrill at cleanup, Sheets fifth, and Bogart sixth? I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I'd let Jackson get his feet wet maybe a little bit. He's probably going to have to go on a rehab assignment for a couple of days just to, get 8 to 10 at bats and get him back up here. Let him run in the outfield a little bit. Don't overwork him down in AAA. But, I think he's going to be out a while. I mean, when it's all said and done, he's going to be out a month. So you send him down. Isn't that amazing? You got that new contract. Next thing you know, he's on the IL. Unbelievable. But you got to test him a little bit, but I could see him hitting cleanup without a problem, And Bogart's got to start driving the ball a little bit. He doesn't have a home run. The other guy doesn't have a home run who normally hits over 30 a year, and that's Max Muncy of the Dodgers. He doesn't have a home run. Of course, he's going to have to lose about 20 pounds to hit his weight the way he's swinging the bat right now. But O2RR, I agree with you. I'd try to get Merrill up as many times as I possibly can. I'd put him in that number 4 spot. No question about it. Sheets, let's see if he can keep it going. Doing a pretty good job overall right now. Going to have to probably be in there against all comers. They're not going to be able to, give him time off against left-handed pitching. He's going to have to figure it out. And for the most part, he's done a pretty good job against left-handers this year. Thank you very much for that question. Always enjoy that. Rich McGuire, those 2 games versus the Giants will be our first test in the division. Can't wait. Now, think about this. I was watching the Giant game. I've watched them twice this week. And yesterday, they had Dave Fleming doing the game with Mike Krukow, and they were talking about the series. and they were talking it's going to be a big, huge 2-game series down at Petco this coming week on Tuesday and Wednesday afternoon. And there are going to be a lot of Giant fans there, and the Petco fans are going to be going crazy. Hey, I'm sorry it's only a 2-game set, but it's going to be some great baseball. And they got a good team. I really didn't. I underestimated the Giants. I thought they'd done some things during the winter, but I underestimated them. They got a pretty good ball club. And I think it's going to be a 4-team race. It really is. And again, I think you've got to, I hate to say this, but you've got to go with the Dodgers during the regular season. Just they have so much damn depth. And I mean, they run guys out there, they bring guys up, and they get contributions. They start guys you don't even know who the hell they are, and they get the job done. And they haven't even hit on all cylinders. Ohtani's out of whack. His wife just gave birth to their first child. He looks terrible at the plate. Mookie Betts got off to a hot start. He's kind of cooled down. Freddie Freeman's been good. Teoscar Hernandez kind of carrying. Will Smith's having a nice bounce back year. Muncie's been awful. Really, the bottom third of the Dodger lineup is almost like automatic outs right now. I mean, they're just not getting the job done. I don't care who you put in that 7, 8, 9 spot. They're struggling with the Dodgers right now, but they've got great depth, and they're going to get their pitching back. And during the regular season, you have to pick. Anybody in their right mind would have to say the Dodgers will win the division. They'll find a way to win the division. But then you get to playoff time, and it's a different animal, folks. You line your ones up against their ones and your 2s and 3s, and I'll take my chances against the Dodgers in a series. 4 out of 7, 3 out of 5. I'll take my chance against the Dodgers. Absolutely. We had them beat last year. I mean, we left a possible world championship on the table last year when we couldn't get the job done, and they came back when we were kicking their rear end up and down the field, and we let them off the hook. And then they go on and, they had a fairly tough series against the Mets, but they breezed by the Yankees like they weren't even there. I mean, they took advantage of the Yankees' weaknesses in a big way. Rich, I agree with you. It's going to be a hell of a series against the Giants. I'm looking forward to that. Thank you very much for that question. Good to have you a part of the program. Okay, I want to get to the NFL draft here a little bit. Number 1 overall pick last night, Tennessee Titans took quarterback Cam Ward out of Miami. This guy, when he was coming out of high school, had no scholarship offers. He had no scholarship offers. And he went to Incarnate Word. How about that? And then he transferred to the Pac-12. And then when that blew up, he ended up going to Miami. And now he's the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Then Jacksonville, they gave up a lot. They were supposed to pick number 5 last night. Well, they moved all the way up to 2nd. They made a big deal with Cleveland. Cleveland moved down to 5. They got some other picks. Plus, they got Jacksonville's number 1 pick next year. They wanted to take the kid out of Colorado, the kid that won the Heisman Trophy. Kid's unbelievable. Travis Hunter, unbelievable wide receiver, defensive back, wants to play both sides of the ball. He's good enough. Defensive back-wise, he's going to go in the NFL. He'll be in the Pro Bowl, probably be an all-pro if he focuses on that. A wide receiver, got some work to do, but he's a talented receiver. Don't get me wrong, but there's going to be a lot to learn at the NFL level, wide receiver-wise. As a defensive back, hey, you're guarding that guy. Okay, he's going to guard that guy all the way through the turnstiles. I mean, he's a great defensive back, got great natural instincts. There's nothing not to like about this kid. He's the best player in the draft, no doubt about it. He'd have been a number 1 pick if he was a receiver. He'd have been a number 1 pick if he was a defensive back. He ends up being both, and number 2 overall pick. And then, I'm not going to go through the entire draft, but, the big thing last night, and Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, the quarterback at Colorado, came from Jackson State with Travis Hunter. He's a talented guy, not a great athlete, but there's a lot of things working here. And I wrote down, he could have gone number 3 overall to the Giants. Instead, they took that edge rusher from Penn State, Abdul Carter. You see that guy? Oh, my God, what a stud. Absolute stud. I was so impressed last night. I watched the draft show, and I'll get to that in a minute, but they could have taken Shedeur Sanders, the Giants, at number 3. The Raiders at number 6 could have taken him. But they took Ashton Genty, the running back who we all seen plenty of at San Diego State from Boise State, highest player ever taken by Boise State, from Boise State, I should say, in the NFL draft. Jets at number 7 took offensive tackle Armand Membu out of Missouri. Boy, he's tough. New Orleans with the 9th overall pick could have taken him. They went with an offensive tackle, Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas. And then everybody thought, I mean, Mel Kiper was like hyperventilating last night about how much he loves Shedeur Sanders. And I don't know if this was all hype to kiss Deion's rear end or what, but everybody, for the most part, was kissing the ring of Deion Sanders last night and Shedeur Sanders. Pittsburgh, they thought would take him with the 21st overall pick. Instead, they took Derek Harmon, a defensive tackle out of Oregon. So Shedeur Sanders is on the board tonight. In Cleveland, they got to take him, don't they? Before I tell you who Cleveland's quarterbacks are, let me tell you this. Shedeur Sanders is a talented guy. I think he's a winning player. I think he plays with a chip on his shoulder. He's not the most athletic guy. He probably at Colorado hung onto the ball far too often. Yeah, I know the offensive line wasn't good. Yeah, I know they had no running game for the most part, especially his first year at Colorado. He was running for his life. Second year, the offensive line got a little bit better, but not great. And he didn't throw at the combine. I don't know why. I mean, if you're a great athlete, you want to showcase your skills. He didn't throw at the combine, didn't play in the Senior Bowl. And now everybody's sitting around wondering why he didn't go. He ought to go tonight. I mean, Cleveland, I hate to say this because this is my mom's hometown. My grandfather was born actually in Cincinnati, but he was a Cleveland police officer for 25 years. My mom's side of the family's from Cleveland and big Ohio contingent. And I hate to say this, but the Browns have no idea what the hell they're doing. I mean, Bill Warndell and I, when we were doing draft shows, I could take our lad's draft guide, watch some highlights, watch some tape, talk to people, and Bill Warndell and I could probably, well, not probably, I know we could. We could draft better, not only than the Cleveland Browns, we could draft better than a lot of teams. You know, I had to crack up last night. You know, you got one pick on the first night. And then we got second and third round today. And then tomorrow we got 4 through 7. But everybody gathers around. Everybody's wearing their nice suits, all the front office people, the scouts. And they're picking one guy. And they pick him. They call the guy on the phone. And all of a sudden, everybody jumping up, shaking hands, congratulate one another. I mean, seriously. I mean, you got one guy. Now, if you got the first pick and you're able to get a guy that can be a franchise-changing person, that's one thing. But I kind of crack up at all this draft room stuff. I mean, if you follow college football, you know who the good players are, and you know what you need for your team. And really, when it comes down to it, you take the best athlete available. I mean, this linebacker that was taken last night, the edge rusher / linebacker out of Penn State, Abdul Carter. Oh, my God. When I saw him on tape, this guy's like off the chart. I could see why he was the third player taken in the draft. I mean, he's just ridiculous. And, you know, the history of Penn State, you know, / edge rushers, linebackers, pretty good. But Shedeur Sanders should go tonight with the first pick in the second round. If he doesn't go there, I don't know when he's going to go. But here's the quarterback room right now for the Cleveland Browns. You got Deshaun Watson. If you can keep him out of massage parlors, he's your quarterback. You've got Kenny Pickett, a guy that I actually liked coming out of Pittsburgh a couple of years ago, but he's bounced around. He was with Pittsburgh and then the Eagles, and now he's with Cleveland. And then they got Joe Flacco. So you got Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, and Joe Flacco. Don't you have to give Shedeur Sanders an opportunity? I think he'll have a good career. I don't know if he's going to be a star. I mean, last night they're talking about, oh man, he could be as good as somebody said he could be as good as Tom Brady or Drew Brees. Are you kidding me? You're going to have to play a hell of a lot of years and play on some damn good teams to have the career those guys had. But last night I was kind of vomiting a little bit. Listening to some of these guys talk about Shedeur Sanders. I mean, first of all, I don't think the quarterback class is all that great this year. And our lad's draft guide had him number 2. And Jackson Dart, I know, ended up going in the draft, and everybody's, oh my God, he's not nearly as good as Shedeur Sanders. Well, the other thing you got to remember about Shedeur Sanders is he's bringing some baggage. Okay. And a lot of front offices, they don't want to deal with Dion. They don't want to deal with a kid that has been pretty much entitled. And, he's never been in trouble, with the law or any of that kind of stuff. But I just don't think teams want to deal with that. They want a guy to come in, and open your mind and get in the workroom, get with your offensive coordinator and get to work. And it's more about flash and dash and your brand. They want to get a guy that's focused, a guy that's not going to hear the outside noise. And, but again, I think he's a talented guy, not a great athlete, but I do think he's a winning football player if he can put a lot of this other stuff aside. It's not about how many clicks you get on a post on X. It's not about your social media brand. It's about getting in there and helping a franchise win football games. And I think a lot of organizations just they don't want to use the energy. I mean, one guy, and maybe this is unfair to him, but one guy can sap a lot of energy of an organization. And I just think a lot of teams they don't want to deal with it. They've got bigger fish to fry. So we'll see. I think he will go tonight. My guess is Cleveland will take him. I mean, he's a good, talented guy. He's got a first-round grade on him by a lot of people, even though I think a lot of people were disappointed in not throwing at the combine. There are some NFL scouts out there that were not impressed with their one-on-one interviews with him. A little bit too boastful. So we'll see. But anyways, I wanted to mention the Chargers draft because I know there are a lot of people that watch my show that still follow the Chargers. They took a young man that I really like a great deal. The running back out of North Carolina, Omarion Hampton. I'm not going to say he's Natron Means, but he probably got better speed than Natron Means. But he's a powerful back. I really thought the Chargers would take a defensive lineman at that point in time because they couldn't stop anybody last year. But they decided to take a running back, Omarion Hampton. I'm good pick. I have no problem with that pick whatsoever. And I mentioned Natron. The Natron was the running backs coach this last year at UNC. So very interesting. Natron Means, man, I remember covering him. He was a good guy, by the way. Kind of a fun-loving guy. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed the draft a great deal. Last night, I got to share this with you. I'm sure, and I didn't talk to Lee Hamilton yesterday, nor did I talk with Bill Werndell. But I think all of us, all 3 of us who did the draft show for so many years on the radio, a little bit of a mourning period for the NFL draft. We did it for, oh man, I don't know. I do it for 25 years, something like that. And man, I really got into it. Lee just lived and breathed the draft. I mean, I'm sure his wife probably got wore out last night. Him talking about heights and weights and all this and that. And Werndell probably been on 28 radio stations between last night and today talking about the draft. Draft was always really special to Bill, Lee, and myself. And we really enjoyed doing it for so many years. I know a lot of people, well, we're going to do a draft show, and they buy a book and they go on the air and they talk about the draft, but they don't know squat about it. I was very fortunate for many years. I had Dick Corey and Tom Bass. I always got those guys involved in our draft shows, guys that had coached in the National Football League. We had so much fun. So much fun. So I'll look forward to, I'm going to the baseball game tonight, but I'm going to tape the draft. And I'll watch the second and third rounds when I get home late tonight. And then tomorrow we've got rounds 4 through 7. So we'll talk more about it on Monday. But whenever I talk about the NFL draft, I get a smile on my face because I really enjoy evaluating players and seeing what other organizations seeing them. And so I hope you enjoy it. Hopefully our Padres can have a great weekend. And again, I want to ask all of you, please subscribe to our channel. Would really appreciate that. And like it. And please send the questions in. Send the questions in. We always enjoy visiting with you and talking about what's going on with our Padres. One other just quick note, Magoon Guath definitely coming back, taking his name out of the NBA draft. He was going to go through all the pre-workout stuff. I thought he was going to come back all along, but he's already said, "I'm done. I'm back at San Diego State." And one of these days, we're going to take a look at that Aztec roster. I got to tell you, Aztec basketball next year is going to be unbelievable, unbelievable with the guys they've got coming back, the guys they've got coming in. It's going to be a fun, fun year for you Aztec basketball fans. So until Monday morning at 9 a.m. Go Padres, 3 games against Tampa Bay. Hopefully they can get all 3. We'll be in here Monday morning to wrap it up and get you ready for that brief 2-game set against the San Francisco Giants. So have a great, happy, and safe weekend, and I'll talk to you again Monday morning at 9 a.m. Bye-bye.